Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a presentation to help people better understand some of the pronunciation for some English consonants. I'll show a brief chart of how we pronounce consonants in general, but for the purposes of this video, we're only going to look at two sounds, the p and b sound. And also, we're not going to use the term pronunciation, but rather phonology to refer to how these sounds are formed in the context of words. So let's get started. So just a brief overview for anyone who doesn't really understand what language is, or at least what sounds are from human beings or animals. We make sounds with our mouth and our throat, obviously. Articulation is a word we use to talk about how you form your mouth and your tongue, but also your throat. Your tongue helps to change the airflow from your mouth that helps to create different sounds, right? Your throat as well. Passive airflow, which means something like when we blow, is passive, and restrictive airflow, which would be something like if we're whistling, right? Like and stops, which will be the main focus of today. Obviously, stops is just not allowing air to come out, or stopping air temporarily and then allowing it to release. And that's what we're going to look at in this video. Okay, so points of articulation, just something really quick. You don't need to understand what all this means. These are words that are labels for the part of the human anatomy. So we don't expect you to remember all this, right? Starting from our voice box, everyone knows, we move up to the pharynx, which no English words are made in the pharynx, although you might find it in Arabic. The glottis, which is just above the Adam's apple. In English, this is where we make the h sound for like hat, or we have what's called glottal stops for words like uh-oh. Uvula, which is the very back of the mouth. Generally, when you swallow, that's where you're using your uvula. The velum is that little piece hanging down at the roof of your mouth that some people might confuse for their tonsils. This is where we make sounds like k and g for kangaroo, gang, cook. The palate is simply the very top roof of your mouth. And this is where we make words that are referred to as either glides, approximates, or fricatives. That's a topic for another video, but it's where we make the sounds for sh, y, and z, among others. Alveolar ridge, which is basically the wrinkly part of your mouth. This is where we make a lot of sounds. A lot of languages use this part of the mouth to make sounds like d, t, s, z. Okay? Lips, obviously, the gateway to your mouth to allow air and sound to travel out. And also what you use to kiss your mom with, or maybe your lover. We use this to make many sounds like p, b, which we're discussing today, as well as f, v. And finally, teeth, which, as I said with the word teeth, we use both our teeth, both the upper and lower teeth, to create the sound th and th, which is a very common sound in English. However, not as common in other languages and quite difficult to pronounce. Again, a topic for another video. And then finally, the tongue that helps to articulate or manipulate the airflow from our mouth, although the tongue does not affect the glottis or the pharynx. Otherwise, you'd be choking on your own tongue, right? Okay, so this is a chart that, again, you don't need to remember what all these terms mean. These are adjective phrases to describe the points of articulation where you would put your tongue or not put your tongue, as far as the glottis is concerned, to create sounds in English. So if in the future or I refer to any of these terms, you'll understand, okay? So you can rewind the video and take a look at this chart again if you need to. This is the International Phonetic Alphabet, at least for the consonants, not the vowels. We'll worry about the vowels later, because English has a lot of consonants. Not all of these, and some of you that have never studied, phonetics or linguistics before may be wondering, is this Greek? Well, a lot of the letters are based off of Greek and also Latin letters. These are actually not letters per se because, as most of you might know, English spelling is problematic. So linguists need some way to universally know how to pronounce words, and so the International Phonetic Alphabet is the answer to that problem. In English, you only need to worry about these ones that are circled in red. And for the purposes of today's video, we're only going to focus on what's called plosive consonants. And as you see, there's several. Not all of these are in English. But today, specifically, we're going to look at what's called bilabial plosives. Bilabial, if we look back at the chart, just refers to bi, which is a Greek word for two, and labial, which is adjective to describe your lips. So it literally means both lips. So we're going to look at these two today, p and b. Again, we're not going to refer to the the alphabetical spelling, p and b, because again, English spelling is problematic. We're going to look at this from a linguistic point of view. Bilabial plosives stop minimal pairs. So what does it mean, minimal pairs? Minimal, obviously, meaning the smallest amount, and pairs, meaning two. So what it refers to is that in the pronunciation of p and b, the articulation of your mouth and your tongue and the airflow are the same. The difference is that with a voiceless plosive p, and don't worry what plosive means, by the way, it just refers to the sound that you make with the p sound, meaning that, as you can hear, there's no voice coming out when I make it p, p, p. But voiced, there is. You can hear in your throat, b, b. Okay? So minimal pairs, meaning that the same point of articulation in your mouth and your tongue, the same way to create the sound, but not voicing or voicing. Okay? Pay, bay, pad, bad, poo, boo, put, but, push, bush. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the p sound, okay? The voiceless plosive p. So, voiceless, bilabial, stop. Again, stop, a lot of these terms, we don't need to remember what they mean. Stop is actually pretty easy, though, and actually, most consonants will be considered stops, and we can explain this later. They help to break up syllables. That way, we can have a break in between our words, so we have a chance to catch our breath, right? So, in a single syllable beginning of the p sound, it's aspirated. All these terms maybe are too difficult for us to remember. All we need to remember is that aspirated means air is released from the mouth. So in this case, we'd say pay. And in this phonetic spelling, I'm putting a small h next to the p to show that I'm allowing air to flow out as I am pronouncing the word. Also, I will have admit a caveat that I am fusing the English phonetic alphabet with the International Phonetic Alphabet, which differ slightly in the way they're written. So if any of you who study the English phonetic alphabet have any issues here, just know I'm trying to kind of fuse them together to help better understand. So, pay, pal, poop, put, and pill. So, poop, funny word, right? Helps me to segue into the single syllable ending unaspirated. So unaspirated means no air is released. You literally stop. So for this one is yap. See how I don't say yap? I say yap. So I stop my P sound, my P sound, and I don't allow air to come out. Similarly, we have the word lap. Poop. So the first p sound is aspirated. We let air out. P, oo, poop. Not poop, but poop. Up, lip. So our pro tip for the p sound is that at the beginning of a syllable, you're going to push air out, which is called aspiration, and is spelled in the IPA with this little h here. But the p sound at the end of a syllable stops air from going out, and actually we don't p it. We kind of just close our lips. Lip. Lip. Okay? And lastly, or sorry, not lastly, but we're going to do a little exercise here, the multisyllabic p sound, just to kind of show how it's formed. Most of these are going to be the aspirated form. Paper and popcorn are popular proposal props. And notice at the end where I say props, there's a little bit of a ps. Because as I'm making the sound s, obviously that's an aspirated sound, so I have to open my lips to allow that out, and so there's a little bit of a pop sound, lips. But this is for the plural form of the word prop, which you notice I don't say prop, I say prop. Okay? And the b sound is much easier because we don't have to talk about aspiration or unaspiration, okay? So in a syllable initial b sound, that means it's the first sound that creates a syllable. It's going to be fully voiced with the b, right? Air, everything comes out. Like the word buy, ball, baby. And so there's two syllables in this word, baby. So both have that hard b sound. Babylon and bubble. But syllable final b sound is similar to the p sound. Okay, that's also a pro tip today. It's similar to where we close our lips and we end the sound, unless there's another syllable following, and usually the b sound will create that, just as we saw with baby, Babylon, and bubble. But in the final b sound, it's tab. So you kind of make that b, like you're going to b, but no air comes out. Tab, lob, bub, YouTube, abs. So here again with that z for plural, we have to let air out to create that z sound. So we're going to pronounce that b a little bit more clearly. So instead of ab, which would be singular, we say abs. So that bzz allows the air to flow out. But again, it's still one syllable. Okay? So in a multi-syllable word, the b sound will always begin the next sound. That's a general rule for English. But in single syllables with b at the end, it will be like the p at the end of a syllable, where it will be pronounced without air. Tab, lob. Okay? Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope it helps you in learning how to pronounce the minimal pairs of p and b in English, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!